Good day everyone. So yesterday we talked about positioning and rotations, and I had a comment in the comment section ask me for help on floor 12.1.1. Essentially this person says that they're using Raiden, Yelan, Sara and Sucrose, and they want a couple of tips for better clearance. So just as a sort of quick reminder, yesterday when we talked about positioning, we talked about the importance of taking corner positions to minimize field of vision, field of view, sorry, forcing the enemies into a sort of lock or like towards the boundary of the abyss, and also being very proactive in where and how we stand so that we can use the correct abilities in response to what the enemies are going to do and to sort of new waves that will sort of pop up as we kill old enemies. So how can we make this a bit practical? Well, I've got the footage here and you'll see I'm on my alternative account, so no C6 or 5 units whatsoever, so you should also be able to do this in relatively the same time minus about 5 or 10 seconds, whatever. So here you can see I'm just going to sort of choose a bit of a health buff since we don't have any healing on the team. Immediately cast Raiden. Go back to the corner, cast Yelan's Elemental Burst, kite the enemies. Yes, you can iframe the corrosion if you time it well. And look at what I'm now going to do. Sort of put them into the corner, hit them, and just smack them like really hard with Raiden. Attack one of these enemies just so that I can start regaining a bit of energy for the rest of my team. And now, once again, I've got all the enemies grouped up, more or less in the corner, waiting for my Sucrose Elemental Burst, triggering the VV Shred. And now I'm just going to wait for a bit here with my Sara, still just being a bit patient, triggering Raiden, and hey, there we are. And look at what I'm trying to do here. I ran around this enemy so that I can sort of force him into a corner. I'm quickly going to interrupt his movements. You can see here the enemy wants to do a lot of things, but I just keep on interrupting. That's sort of the way to do it. And yeah, you can see I'm just now sort of going to trigger Sucrose and then take out these two mobs. Just keeping to the corner. I don't really want these two to go too far away, and that should be more or less a cleanup. So let's just look at a couple of things that I did in this video and just a bit of a slow motion. So immediately we cast Raiden's Yelan's Q, so that's going to give Raiden a bit more resolve. We move towards the back of a map, and what this sort of allows us to do is to sort of see all the enemies in front of us, and this also means we can group them or force them to come to group up on us. And then we effectively disable them. You can see even though this enemy tried to hit me, the fact that you can actually iframe the corrosion if you time it well, and if you then animation cast quickly with Sucrose, well, you can get her ability off. And yeah, this is the power of dash cancelling and the high level play of Genshin. You dodge the enemy, you avoid the corrosion, you get your abilities off, and you sort of now simultaneously swirl Electro, so you decrease their resistance, and you group them up, and you throw in your Elemental Burst, so that the enemies, as they are right here, are sort of like they're constantly being interrupted. They're in the corner, so that when I now jump to Sara and I sort of use my Elemental Burst, you can see it's going to knock the enemies a bit around, then knock towards the back wall. And now, of course, Raiden having Sara's buff, the Resistance Shred, Yelan's buff is now, and with Max Resolve, is now in a position to just very quickly clear them out with about one shot. You'll see we got about four enemies, 4 to 6 enemies. And now I'm just going to attack and just sort of repeat the same loop, get them into a corner and use my abilities. Right, so you might say that first round that you saw was a bit of a lucky fluke, so let's redo it. So you'll see I'm doing a bit of a different run right here, a bit of a different sort of variation as well, but the same principles will still apply. So I'm just going to sort of let this play out in the background. You can see here I've just sort of reset. I'm just waiting for my abilities to come back online. And now we're sort of just going to kick it off in the exact same way. Cast our E, Yelan sort of in the corner here, wait for the enemies, iframe, sort of interrupt them, put them here, and now we're going to swirl the Electro instead of the Hydro. This will of course give our Raiden a bit more of an extra damage bonus. Once again, just sort of quickly taking them out. And yeah, this is exactly more or less what we did last time. And you'll see here just sort of interrupting them. Oops, just got a bit unlucky with Sucrose swirling, but that's fine. Yeah, we're just same old strategy. Move here. I want to sort of push him a bit more towards the middle, because the next guy that's going to spawn is going to spawn right there, and then I want to sort of start hitting him, interrupting him constantly. I don't want him to sort of move. And then once these guys are together, notice what I'll do. I'm just going to once again just try and interrupt their movement with the electro charge, triggering the hydro and the electro. Yelan right here, keep them once again in the corner, keep them interrupted. Yeah, they're pushed against the boundary, and now we can take them out very, very easily. So this is what we mean by proper positioning. If you just manage where you are on the field and manage the enemies with your abilities and cooldowns, well, then you have that your positioning and rotations come together, and you get a very high level, a very consistent high level way of playing. And even if things go wrong, at least you'll know more or less what to do to be in a better position, so things can start going right again. It's like very late at night, sorry, I can't speak. But yeah, that is it for this video. Thanks for watching, and hopefully that helps. Cheers.